The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. That's what we're discussing here on the day. Day traders, stock traders, swing traders, everyone aligned. I mean, it's kind of like it's unbelievable. Let's really just take a step back before we go too far in the video, right? From absolute lows this year, right? Lows on the year, basically, to right now. You were up around 44%. We've almost fully recovered back from the initial drop that we had in 2022, the beginning of 2022. So first, I want to say congratulations. You powered through. You've been trading. Even if you're just here, congratulations. I'm going to tell you right now, this was one of the toughest areas to ever trade. Right now, 100% it was. This year has been so much easier. Okay. But now when we jump into this, tomorrow, the big thing right now, FOMC is tomorrow. No sugarcoating it. Tomorrow, you will have around 2:30, I believe, right? 2, you get your interest rate decision, and then you have the Fed statement, and then you have the press conference, right? And just to let you know, I will be live here on the channel at that time or right before it. I'll have it all streamed. I don't know if we're going to go live early in the morning, just to let you know, but I will be live for PAL. Give you the heads up. Okay. Now, we have PPI early in the morning as well. We had CPI this morning, so I just want to go over that really quick. CPI came out 3.1%, all as expected. Month over month, you were up a little bit. You go over energy prices, oil, things like that, they all dropped. I think shelter was up a little bit. Food was slightly up. But overall, the big things that they want are still focused on are still dropping, whether you like it or not. Okay. The market from this viewpoint, you go to around the 15-minute marker, just give you an idea. 7:30, this news drops. You get an initial drop. You bounce at support. What is that support? Go to the 2-hour time frame. This is the Nasdaq, by the way. You bounce right there at previous highs. That's the Nasdaq. You go to SPY, very similar. Come down, bounce, push higher, right? Previous kind of high range, bouncing up, close at a new 52-week high once again. Okay, so going into tomorrow, what's my viewpoint? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like trading too much the day before or the day of FOMC. I don't want to say it's a trap, but I want to say it's dangerous to do so. Your best bet is to just wait. I'm going to tell you that right now. You might not want to hear it. Wait till Powell speaks, get the overall direction of the market, make sure you hear his tone. And again, I'll be here live to interpret my viewpoint of that. Okay, but I'm going to tell you right now, I am biased. If you gave me a gun to the head right now, you're like, Tyler, bullish, bearish through FOMC. I would be bullish going through this FOMC right now. That'd be my opinion. I still think we pause. I still don't think we're not going to cut rates by any means, but I think the narration will be a pause, restrictive enough, pushing forward like we have been. I think that's the narrative that will be pushed. I think that's my opinion there. Okay. So understand that. QQQ, again, giving you a visual here. You're like officially 5 points away from all-time highs. So again, round of applause. Qs, you're literally almost there already. Absolutely absurd. You're finally getting the breakout. And what's shocking is like you're getting this before even FOMC. So if FOMC comes out with the tone that I'm assuming you will get, the next conversation tomorrow might be at all-time highs. That's a crazy idea to come to that point. Now, I have some equities I want to talk about here in a second that I think have a lot of potential because I think there's like 3 names that have explosive potential. I'm going to give you every single one of them here today. No more gatekeeping today. But that's you do 2 things. Consider liking the video and subscribing. It helps out tons. Every single day, Monday through Friday, I post videos for you on the market so you are ready. The best opportunities, everything in between. But I also tell you right now too, everyone knows the broker we're sponsored by, the broker we use here on the channel, Options AI. But again, I always want to give a special shout out to some of these indicators. I see a lot of people wondering what's happening here. How, what am I using right now? Obviously in the live streams, I'm using them in real time. So I like to have my chart a little bit cleaner during the videos. But as you're seeing these key levels showing out here, where volume is, where buyers are, and then also down here, buying versus selling volume throughout the day as well, really gives you a better viewpoint to what's actually happening every single day throughout the day and giving you a good visual of breakouts where they're actually happening, key levels throughout the day, things like that as well. That's our Chart Prime sponsorship as well. We're able to work with them, get custom scripts, get everything done custom to us for TradingView. So if you are interested, the link for that is down below and you'll save 30% when you use our code and you get, that's for life as well, just to let you know. So anytime we release a new algo, new anything on Chart Prime, you get access to it. So make sure you're taking advantage. Okay. So again, let's just get rid of this real quick. I have to have a clean chart. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I have to be able to I turn these on and off literally throughout the day, probably 100 times. Okay. Now, when we look at this chart clean, again, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful chart. Another bull flag broken out, pushing up, right? Beautiful. I mean, you're targeting now 403 on Qs. SPY, target's a little bit closer, obviously. I mean, a little bit further, but 460. I mean, dude, crazy. Like that. I mean, this is highs back. Yeah, this is nuts to really think about where we're at and how we're moving. You're less than 1% off from all-time highs. And I cannot believe I'm saying that here on SPY either. Okay. So you're getting that follow through, you're getting that continuation, what we wanted. Great play out. Sometimes you just got to look at it 3 times to believe it. Now, again, I don't want to go too much over FOMC. We'll talk about tomorrow. I don't want to talk about CPI. We'll talk about that a lot tomorrow too. Today's video, I want to keep it kind of shorter, but I want to focus primarily on equities. Okay. Now, number one, a few things that we're looking at for indicators for follow through to the upside. From tomorrow's meeting, you want to see DXY get back below the 200 SMA. If you get back below the 200 SMA, I believe you're going to drop. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Back below, drop. Yellow line, 200 moving average on the DXY, the dollar. Number 2, yields. I think you've already been doing it. You've been stair-stepping lower, making lower highs, lower lows, very bearish. Okay, you want to see this trend continue. Okay, the big thing we were looking for already, and it's already happened, was breaking back below 2022 highs. Okay, you broke back below on the 10 and the 30. Now you want to break back below the 200 SMA here. If that happens, I think you start rolling over on yields as well. I don't think yields are going to start dropping drastically, though. People keep asking about TLT and bonds and that type of thing. I think the bottom is probably in for those names, right? Like TLT and overall bonds. But I don't think you start seeing TLT really rocket to the upside, really start moving, or really see yields drop until they cut rates. Now, you're already seeing yields price in and the bond market price in that a pause is like the bare minimum of what we're getting, right? By bare minimum, I mean like either pause or cut, but I don't think we're going to cut, okay? So that's my opinion there. We've also seen most of the solid hedge funds, and when I say solid, I'm talking Goldman, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. When I'm talking about their viewpoints and with their outlook on the market, I'm comparing everyone else with how their outlooks have played out. For instance, in 2022, Morgan Stanley and Goldman, their best viewpoint or the most upside opportunity that they gave out were volatility indexes and energy. And those were the best performing names. Okay? It's worth mentioning. So if that was a hedge in your account in 2022, you made money. In 2023, they got net bullish on the market. They're like, highly possible we start, hitting a bottom. Goldman was first, then Morgan Stanley slowly got in after all their positions were kind of like negated. Remember, kind of had the strangle or straddle or whatever they had. Okay? Now, both of what they're doing are pricing in sooner rate cuts. And they're not talking about quarter number 1 or quarter number 2. They're now pricing it in for that summer range, which is kind of what we've been talking a lot about here. These are all things that I've lined up for me. So again, I don't think yields start just plummeting down until rates start to get cut. But I'm going to tell you, short term, this could be very good and bullish for the market. Okay, oil is going straight down. Everyone keeps asking about oil stocks. I'm not touching any oil stocks because crude oil is only going down. People have been trying to be bullish on crude. I don't know why, but again, downside until OPEC changes their view. So those are kind of the fundamental viewpoints here. What you're looking for would help. VIX is already, it's back down to like 2021 lows. This is kind of crazy. 2020 lows. Sorry, not even 2021. So that's wild. What this basically means, though, is hedge funds aren't even hedging, like heavily hedging positions right now. They're not even buying puts. That's the real problem right now. If we look at the whole market, is you kind of can't get that gamma to where you're stepping and stepping and stepping. Because right now, you can go look at the chain. We can go look at what's happening with IV. They're all very, very low, like sitting 30 to 40% max, besides something like Tesla, and that's pricing to the 40%. But you look at most names, they're sitting under 30% for a month to 2 months out. That's absurd. That's wild. That's crazy to me. So again, all these things continue to point to upside, in my opinion. Okay, gonna give you that straight up. Now, names I'm liking. Now, AMD. These are some recap names. AMD, we said above 122. It's a buy. You went crazy. AVGO, we said the retest of the 920 range down here was a buy. You went crazy. Okay, those have been some of the great names. Some of the names that haven't broken out yet. Amazon. I believe Amazon wants to rock it. I think it wants to. It's very incredible. It's very, very, very strong, to say the very least, okay? And giving you a visual. What I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to pull over Options AI, where we're doing most of that. I actually ended up buying another Netflix today. Call me crazy. I'm mentioning that in Discord quite a few times, but I'm not going to BS you guys. That's definitely one of the riskier positions, buying Netflix. So, again, Amazon. I keep telling you guys in Discord what they saw, what we bought, what we've been holding on to are the June contracts. But you can still get very cheap contracts. And looking at this IV, this is Options AI. This is, again, the broker that I use. You can still see the expected move is very minimal, even into their next earnings. Before your next earnings, you're only expected to move 6% on the stock up or down to 156. After earnings, it's like you get a 10% move. But even pricing into July, you're only expected to get a 17% move to the up or to the downside. I believe that could be very easy to play out. My target in the short term is around 155, 156. So again, I'm telling you the value, in my opinion, is there. Do what you want with it. Again, like the 150s for June, still very cheap. I got those closer to $11, $12, but still, right now, this bid ask is 15 to 16. It'll be closer when the market opens. But again, those are still very good, in my opinion. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Meta. Again, giant ascending triangle. I think you want to break out. Minimum target is 350, 355. Okay, I think he wants to go even higher. I've been saying this a lot. Again, if you want to get a viewpoint of these, look at the expected move over the next few months. It's kind of ridiculous. Even here on Meta, with one of the most volatile names of the year. Very, very volatile on the year. They're only expecting how big of a move over the next. Okay, this is just into to February. Into February, you're expected only 11%, which would have this at 360, which I agree is a bigger move, but that's pricing in earnings as well. Before earnings, they're pricing in a 7% move, not even. Again, this is where things get interesting. If you have time, I'm just saying, they're paying for themselves. The value that you're able to get makes logical sense here. Okay, those are my safer names. And if you're like Meta safe, then what's risky? Number one, LRCX. You're getting a great opportunity now. And again, we're going to go something like the 2 hour. We're going to get rid of this. But ultimately today, I would have liked it to happen on more of a higher time frame, but it is what it is. You broke out yesterday. You came back down today. And I think you want to bounce. It looks very good. Looks very strong. This is textbook. You zoom out even further, though, to something like the daily. And when you look at the daily, it's hard not to say this is not the best cup and handle. This is one of the best cup and handles that I've seen on the market. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. And I'm trying to be as straightforward as possible with these names. Okay, LR6 is risky. The spreads are kind of large, but still. AVGO was risky. Spreads were kind of large, but the people that made money on it, they did well. I'm just saying, they did good. Okay, so I like it. The breakout potential, I'm not going to give you, an exact target, but it looks good. Okay, I think it has a lot of upside. The most comparable cup and handle that I can give you a comparison to is XLK, which is primarily consisted of Google, Microsoft, and Apple, I believe, right? And this thing was incredible too. Okay, those are my names I'm liking. Those are the ones there. Next one, Netflix. And I'm gonna continue going through these names, right? Netflix. You are mounting your previous, where this gap starts right here. You have a massive gap fill that you have yet to fill, right? At 507, right? Discord, remember we traded this like a day ago. We traded 471, but now you're in the talk of, if this starts playing out, 500 is very, very possible here. Again, Netflix, LRCX are riskier names. They move very fast. So I want people to understand the risk aspect there. But you break out here. You finally get that gap fill. You made a higher low here. You hold support. It's a good opportunity, right? I only like to talk about stuff if I really think it's a great, great, great opportunity. And I do believe so. Next, Microsoft. I've been talking about Microsoft. So everyone's talking about Microsoft on the idea of a bear flag. And I could see it. Until the end of the day today. And then, no, I could not see it. But I could possibly see it. But this is your previous all-time high right here. You broke out. And then look how many times you tested this over the past few days. And this is why Jay in Discord has been so bullish. If you're holding Microsoft, I think you're going to make money on it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 touches of the previous all-time high and bounces. I'm just saying, incredibly bullish in my opinion. And you're back over 373, which was your confirmation that we mentioned yesterday also. Again, a great looking name there. Okay. NVIDIA, my last name. AVGO, AMD have already run. People are saying NVIDIA. Someone asked yesterday or today if NVIDIA was overbought, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like, sure, I don't know. I was speechless. NVIDIA getting the hold over 476. I personally believe NVIDIA wants to break all-time highs. It hasn't done it yet. I believe it will, and I believe it's going to. That's my personal opinion there. That's not too much of TA. I have a lot better TA examples on LRCX, Netflix, and these other names that I'm liking a lot, but that's my viewpoint there. And if you want a small cap, the only name in the small caps that I have right now is Upstart. If Upstart, and really you don't need to get risky here, wait for the break of like 38.5. Once you get that, you have zero liquidity to the upside. The end. Last name I want to mention is Target. And let me tell you, I think Target is a massive, massive opportunity here. Giving you an example. Once you get above, and you're really already there, but above like 135, almost into 149, there is zero liquidity here. You can pull up the VPVR and look at it and do it for yourself. There's almost no liquidity. Costco has earnings on Thursday, so you have to be careful here, but I think Target is a great name. If you want to play Costco to the earnings side, just play Target. It's a good sympathy name. It's grossly undervalued in comparison to Target, Walmart, and Costco. If you look at all of them together, Target's the cheapest, best value they're getting. I believe it's a great opportunity, and you can grab, I believe, like June's for nothing, for like 150. Like I think they're like $3 for June, the 150s. Kind of incredible. My personal opinion, what I'm looking at, those are the opportunities. I hope you get something out of this. If you have any comments, leave them down below. See you tomorrow.